Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday morning sales meeting. My name is Matt Wan, and I'm the president of Maximum Potential Institute, and I am proud to be with you here today. And we're going to cover a great subject, a subject that I'm really passionate about. I talk about it a lot. I talk about it a lot on these meetings because it's imperative that you know how to overcome objections. Objections in the sale. Objections are part of the selling process. No matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter if you're selling cars, trains, boats, computers, shoes. Now, we primarily focus on the car business, so we're going to get into that part of it. But first order of business, I want to give a big shout out to my friend and my partner, Al DeSaro. Big Al, as most of you know him. Big Al is up in St. Louis, and he hasn't been on in the past couple of weeks. Why? Because he's doing a big training up there for a major dealer group. They asked us to come back over and over and over. And this time, they actually asked us to come back to do their entire stores, all their stores. So Al is up there training their Nissan store, their Honda store, the Hyundai store, the Kia store, the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Maserati stores. He's doing a big training up there, not only sales training, but leadership training. In fact, what Al did just a couple of days ago is he had a big meeting with all the sales managers, general managers, and the controllers of the stores. And he went over our onboarding best practices program that we have, that we actually had a video on last week. So if you weren't on the live Zoom conference or the live Facebook last week, go back and watch that, especially if you're in management. He did a great, went over real well. So big shout out to Al DeSaro, killing it up in St. Louis. We're going to have him back here doing the live with me next week, and we're going to go over product knowledge. You're not going to want to miss that. But first, I want to say hello to all our dealers tuning in on our Zoom conference, as well as tuning in live here on Facebook. Today we're going to be talking about objections. It's part of the selling process. A lot of people say to me, hey, Matt, you talk about objections a lot. You talk about negotiating a lot. I say, yeah, I do. And I tell you why, because repetition is the mother of all learning. And in sales, when we become an expert at certain areas, we become an expert at sales, you can make 6 figures a year. And why are we in this business? Why are we in the automotive industry? Or why are we in sales, period? So we can make money. We can build trusting relationships with our customers. And quite frankly, sales, you can create whatever you want in your life. And one of the things in sales you're going to get is objections. This is part of the process. So get your pens, get your papers ready. I want you to take a lot of notes because we're going to be going over certain objections. Now, we don't have all day. We usually do about a half an hour to 40 minutes here on these morning meetings, right? We have a whole training seminar on objections for the whole entire day. We can talk about this because we go over every objection. But today, we want to go over some of the most common objections that you're going to get today. This you can learn around, and you can turn around today and use what you're going to learn this morning and overcome these objections, because there's 3 primary places. Number 1, the primary place you're going to get objections is going to be at the meet and greet. When you first meet your customer. Yep. When you go out there and you first say, hey, welcome to ABC Motors. My name is Matt. Yours? They're going to introduce themselves and you're going to get objections. So we're going to cover those objections, the most common meet and greet objections you're going to get today that you can turn around and use today to help benefit your business. The second place you're going to get objections is in the presentation. The presentation process. In the presentation process, you're going to get certain objections. And the third place is during the close or the negotiation. Now, we're going to talk about these objections. Primarily today, we're going to focus on meet and greet objections and closing the negotiation objections, because this is where most people need help, especially in the automotive business. Now, again, we focus on the automotive industry. However, this is good for any business. Get your pens and papers ready. Let's first talk about objections. Again, here's a small workbook that we have. If you're interested in getting our workbook, reach out to me. I'll send it to you for free. It's about overcoming objections. This is a great program that we have. Just the 30 most common objections that you're going to get today that you're going to learn how to have overcome. Now, let's first go through the meet and greet objections. So some of the most common meet and greet objections that you're going to get today, right? How about this? Are you going to hear today, hey, Matt, we're just looking. We just started shopping. I've just started shopping. You going to hear that today? Well, you have to know what to say to that. So now again, my personality is a little bit different. I always talk about in the trainings that you're going to want to take this, make it your own personality. But when somebody says, hey, we're just looking, even though they know exactly what they want. By the way, 85% of customers that walk on your lot are going to say they're just looking. Meanwhile, 89% of them have done 6 hours of research and know exactly what they want, okay? But that's okay. They're trained to say, we're just looking. And if they say that, what do you say? Do you know how to handle that? You ready? Take notes. Just simply say something like this. Hey, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Customer? Well, thanks for looking here. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve you. My job is simple today. Find you the car you want, give you the options you want, and respect your time. Is that fair enough? Great. Tell me, what are you looking for? You looking for a car, truck, SUV, pickup truck? See? And you go into the question process. Why? Because at the greet, at the meet and greet, you're going to want to first establish that quick rapport with your customer. You have 30 to 60 seconds to break that wall down, to show your customer that you're a professional, to show your customer that you respect them and you respect their time. Remember, even though a customer says, hey, I'm just shopping, we're not buying today, doesn't mean they're not buying today, does it? Of course not. How many people have told you that over your career and they bought something? Why? Because you build trust and rapport. You see, this business is simple. It's any business, frankly, but the automotive business is real simple. Treat people with respect. Give them what they want. Never lie to them, and always do the right thing. Build trust, build rapport. You do that, you're going to sell them a car, even if they're just looking, right? So again, hey, Matt, we're not buying today. I'm just looking. Hey, no problem. Thanks for looking here first. I really appreciate the opportunity. My job's simple today. Find you the car you want with the options you want. Get your pricing before you leave, and respect your time. Is that fair enough? Who's going to say no to that? Okay, so as a good salesman, you're going to know the answer to the questions. So again, hey man, no problem. My job is simple today. Find you the car you want with the options you want. Get you the pricing before you leave and respect your time. Is that fair? Great. What kind of vehicle are you looking for? Simple. The second one, how about this? You ever hear this one? Hey, you know, Matt, I only have 15 minutes. I don't have much time. I only got about 15 minutes. I'm on my lunch break, but I like to get pricing on that Honda Accord right there. Now, what do you do there? Now, I say a lot of times a bad salesperson right there will turn around and say, well, 15 minutes is not enough time. What we'd like to do is, can I get your name and phone number, and maybe we can schedule a time for you to come back after work and I can get you all the information? Well, if that sounds like you, then you need to learn what to say. Here's what you want to say. Hey, Matt, you know, I only got 15 minutes. I'm on my lunch break, and I like to get pricing on that Honda Accord. 15 minutes? Hey, that's plenty of time. I'll get you all the information that you want as well as pricing. Not a problem. Follow me. Let's go get that for you. And turn around and walk. So understand why. Understand why you do that. Because most people, they want to get right to it. They're testing you. How many people, if you're in this business for any length of time, have said they only have 10 or 15 minutes, but yet 4 hours later they leave with a vehicle, or 2 hours later they leave with a vehicle, right? All right. So if they tell you, hey, I'm on my lunch break, you're probably going to hear this weekend, right? I'm on my lunch break. And I only have 15 minutes, but I want to get prices on this Toyota Camry. Hey, no problem. 15 minutes is plenty of time, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. In fact, within 15 minutes, I can get you all the information you want, as well as pricing. How's that sound? Is that good? Great. Follow me. Simple. Take control of that sale. How about this one? Have you ever heard this one? Hey, by the way, Matt, I just want you to know, I want to be transparent with you. I have pricing from another dealership. Now, this is how you may have been taught. You may have been taught the wrong way, which is to say, well, if you have pricing from another dealership, hey, let me get those prices, and let's see if I can beat those prices. Right off the bat, you're selling, right? None of this. We don't want this. Don't sell. Hey, no problem, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. I really appreciate you being transparent with me. That's great that you got numbers from another dealership. In fact, I'll tell you what. Do me a favor. Keep those numbers to yourself. Not fair for me to know. What I'd like to do today is find you the car you want with the options you want, and I'll give you my own pricing. Is that fair enough? See, it throws your customer off a little bit because they're not expecting that. So remember, even if they have pricing from another dealership and they say to you, hey, Matt, I want to be transparent with you. I have pricing from another dealership. You turn around and say, hey, great. You know what? Keep those numbers to yourself. It's not fair for me to know. My job is simple today. Find you the car you want with the options you want, and I'll give you my own pricing. Is that fair enough? You see, what you want to do is you want to establish yourself as a professional, that you don't care if they got, it's good that they got pricing. It's great that you have an educated shopper, but you know what? I'm confident in my pricing, and we'll take care of it when we get into that. and your customers will respect you a lot for that. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right, how about this one? Are you going to hear this? Hey, Matt, I just want you to know this is my first stop, and I'm going to go to 3 other places, and whoever gives me the best price, that's where I'm going to buy a car from. You know, when I say these objections in the class, it's funny because everybody, of course we are, of course. You're probably going to hear that this weekend. Hey, Matt, listen, you know, I just want you to know, it's our first stop. I'm going to go get 3 other prices from 3 other dealerships, and whoever gives me the best price, that's where I'm going to buy a car from. Well, guess what? If you hear that, don't be a typical salesman and turn around and say, well, you don't need to go shopping. We got the best prices here. You know why? Because it's not true. Anybody can beat anybody's price with a bona fide offer. So you want to take control of that sale. So if the customer comes in and says, hey, Matt, I just want you to know, you know, I'm going to go, this is my first stop, and I'm going to go shop 3 other places, and whoever gives me the best price, frankly, that's where I'm going to buy a car from. Be the professional. You turn around and say, hey, well, great. Thank you for shopping here first. I really appreciate it. My job is simple today. Get you the car you want with the options, give you pricing before you leave, and hopefully when you're ready to make a decision, I'll be in the running for that decision. How does that sound to you, Mr. Customer? See, now what you're doing is, again, you're taking that customer and you're breaking the wall down. Right now they're saying, great, I'm not buying a car today. That doesn't mean they're not buying a car from you today. Why do I say that? Because if you build trust and rapport, you can overcome that objection when you negotiate over here, and then you can move to the close and close. And we'll go through that when we get there, okay? But again, if they say, hey, I'm going to go to 3 other places and shop around, whoever gives me the best price is where I'm going to buy a car from, great. Thanks for shopping here first. I really appreciate the opportunity. My job's simple. Get you the car you want, give you the options you want, give you pricing before you leave, and whenever you're ready to make a decision, hopefully I'm going to be in the running. How does that sound? You see, it's professional, right? You don't want to create a conflict, especially in a meet and greet. How about this one? You know, Matt, I got some credit issues. I just want to be upfront with you and tell you I got some credit issues. Well, look, if they're upfront and transparent with you and they say they got some credit issues, the goal here is simple. Sit them down, talk to them, make them feel comfortable. Say, hey, man, no problem. Listen, I completely understand that you have credit issues. A lot of our customers have credit issues, and we really help them a lot. I'll tell you what, before we get started, let's go inside, sit down, talk about what you're looking for, talk about what you kind of want, and a little bit about your credit issues, and then we can go from there. Does that sound fair? You see, simple, right? Easy, friendly. At the meet and greet objection, you want to be friendly with the customer. Don't put too much pressure on the customer. If they say, hey, I have credit issues, don't turn around and say, well, what's your credit score? You haven't earned the right to ask that question right now. People are a little bit nervous about that stuff. So again, if they're transparent enough and they say, hey, Matt, just so you know, I want you to know, I got some credit issues I might have to contend with, say, hey, great, no problem, man. Listen, I understand. A lot of our customers have credit issues, and we can really help them a lot. I tell you what, let's go inside. Sit down, talk about what you're looking for in your next automobile, discuss your credit issues just a little bit, and then we can go from there. Is that fair? You see the difference? Then right away, hey, what's your credit score? How's your credit? Don't worry about it, man. You haven't earned the right. Sit them down. Talk to them like a human being. Treat people with respect. Treat people with honor and give them respect, and you'll earn their trust. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right. How about this? Hey, man, Matt, I'm not buying for 30 days. I just want you to know, we're not buying for 30 days. Now, a lot of salespeople in this situation are going to say, well, I tell you what, we got some deals going on right now. You might not have to wait 30 days. I'll give you the best price in town. You can buy it today. Right away. Conflict. Right away, you're selling. Who cares? Doesn't mean they're not buying for 30 days. If you do your job properly, they're going to buy today. So what do you mean? You know, Matt, I just want you to know, we're not buying for 30 days. We're not, we have to wait for a tax settlement, right? Tax year. We have to wait for a tax settlement. Hey, great, man. No problem. Listen, I appreciate you starting to shop now and understand what you're looking for now. My job's simple. Find you the car you want. Give you the options. Give you some pricing. Whenever you're ready to buy, hey, hopefully I'm right there for you. How's that sound? Does that sound fair? Great. Follow me. You see what I mean? Take control of that selling process. You want to be friendly with your customer. How about this one? Hey, Matt, we just started shopping. Hey, great. No problem. Thanks for shopping with us first. We got a great selection of vehicles here. Whether you're looking for cars, trucks, SUVs, pickup trucks, we got them all here. One of the largest dealers in South Florida or wherever you are. So ask them, turn around right then and there and say, what kind of research have you done? Have you done any research? You have an idea of what you're looking for? Again, friendly. No pressure at the greeting. Makes sense, right? How about this one? We don't know what we want yet. Matt, we haven't done any research. We don't even know what we want yet. Hey, great. My job is real simple. Help you find what you want. I'm kind of like a doctor in a way. I'm going to kind of narrow it down to see what you're looking for. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you looking for a car, truck, SUV, or a pickup? Well, I'm looking for an SUV. Great. Small, medium, large. See what you're doing? You're narrowing it down. And then once you get down to something concrete, follow me. Let's go discuss and look what we have in our inventory. And then take control of the sale. So if somebody walks in and says, we don't know what we want yet, just turn around and say, hey, great, not a problem. You've come to the right place. My job is to find exactly what you're looking for, find out exactly what your needs are, and get you the right vehicle. Tell me, what are you looking for? Car, truck, van, SUV, pickup? What are you looking for? See? Simple, right? All right. How about this one? The decision maker's not here. Decision maker's not here. You're going to get that a lot. Maybe it's my spouse. Maybe it's my business partner. Whatever that is. Again, don't start right off the bat in a meet and greet and say, well, can we call them? Can we bring the car to them? Can we do all this? Who cares at this point? Build a rapport. Make a friend with the customer. Hey, no problem that your business partners are not here. That's fine. Look, I understand you're doing the preliminary research, and then you can go back and discuss it with your business partner. Am I right? Yeah, great. Well, tell me, what are you looking for? See? Agree with the customer. Be on their side. Understand what they're looking for. Put yourself in their shoes. Again, just because the business partner's not there doesn't mean that they're not buying today. Or how about the spouse? You know, my spouse is not with me. My wife is not with me. Or my husband's not with me. Hey, great. I completely understand. Look, happy wife, happy life. I wouldn't want to make that decision without my wife either. I completely understand. By the way, what's your wife's name? Becky? Great. What are you and Becky looking for today? You see what I did there? Now I'm talking in the third party. I'm talking about Becky. See, so I hope you're taking notes on the meet and greet. And again, when we do our seminar here, our full-day seminar, we go into this in detail. We actually role play. We have a bunch of people in the studio, in this training center here, and we do a big role play. And it takes all day, but we become experts at meet and greet objections, right? So let's move on to closing and negotiating objections right now, because this is really super important, okay? We're going to talk about a formula that we use here at Maximum Potential Institute on how to overcome an objection. So you overcame all the meet and greet objections. You've done everything right. Now you're going to get to closing objections, right? We're going to talk about a formula here that we use to overcome objections every time, because objections are part of the selling process. I mean, we know this, right? No matter what you're selling. If you're selling AT&T services on the phone, are you going to get objections? Of course. If you're selling shoes at a mall, are you going to get objections? Of course. If you're selling cars at the dealership this weekend, are you going to get closing and negotiating objections? Of course. How do we overcome them? Well, we have a formula that we call AIM. AIM is an acronym. AIM. The A stands for acknowledge. Acknowledge. Acknowledge your customer's objection. Align with your customer. Feed it back to them. The I stands for isolate the objection. So take the objection and isolate it. Put it aside. So find out if there's any other objections or any other hidden objections that you're going to have to overcome. And then the M stands for move to a close. Move to a close. Aim, acknowledge, I, isolate, M, move to a close. Hey, this is where the potatoes get to, what is it called? Meat to potatoes. This is the meat and potatoes. This is it. You got to learn how to overcome objections, and you're going to get a lot of them while you're negotiating. Even if you've done all the steps right, you've done a great meet and greet and a great qualification and discovery process. You did a great step 1 and 2. You did a great step 3 and 4, which was talk to the boss, let them know where you are, and find the vehicle exactly for the customer what they're looking for. You did a phenomenal presentation on the product. You did a great demo drive. You got out of that car. You asked that trial closing question. They even said yes, they're ready to buy the car, but at the same time, you're still going to get closing and negotiating objections. In order for you to overcome them, you want to learn the AIM formula. A-I-M, acknowledge the objection. Hear your customer. Align with them. Feed it back to them. Okay? Understand them. Be on the same page as your client, as your customer. Isolate the objection. Other than, besides that, find out if there's any other objections that they may have so you can overcome them all rather than overcome one and then find out that there's another one. Get them all out at one shot. And then M, move to a close that's appropriate to the objection so you can go close the deal, turn around, hand in a pen, and ask M to buy. As a sales professional, you're going to have to learn how to overcome these objections during the negotiation process. If you want to make 6 figures a year, if you want to be the best of the best, this is part of the process. Let's go through a few common objections that you're going to get during the close. How's that sound? Good? Get your pens ready. You're going to hear these this weekend, okay? You will hear these objections this weekend as you're selling a car. Okay. Hey, Matt, I got to think about it. I got to think about it. You know, this is a big decision, and I got to think about it. Now, you're going to hear this? Of course you're going to. How you handle it is everything. What you say is everything. Again, acknowledge to the customer. There's a concern there. You want to find out what it is. So you want to say something like this. Hey, you know what, Mr. Customer? I completely understand that you want to think about it. I get it. This is a big decision. And whenever you make a big decision, you want to make sure that you're making the right one. Am I right? You see what I did there? I acknowledge it. I'm on his side or her side. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Customer? I completely understand that you want to think about it. I get it. This is a big decision. And whenever you make a big decision, you want to make sure that you're making the right decision. Am I right? So what did I do? I acknowledged it. I didn't just come at them. I acknowledged the objection. I listened to them. And then during that, before the isolation, I got them to say a yes by using a tie down by saying, am I right? Okay, we'll get into that too. Now I'm going to isolate it. Hey, you know what, Becky? Other than the fact that you just got to think about it just for the night. I get that. Other than that, is there anything else besides that that will stop you from buying this particular model and this particular car? Now, you see how I said? Other than that, is there anything else stopping you from buying this particular model or this particular car? Because if at this point they're probably going to say, well, yeah, you know, maybe it's my budget or it's my payment or my down payment. They might throw the objection back at you. But if they say, no, I just want to think about it overnight. I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision. Now you want to move to a close. M, move to a close. You might want to use the Ben Franklin close here, okay? The Ben Franklin close. Now, if you have access to our online university or portal, you can go check out the Ben Franklin close. Or you might want to use the I got to think about it close. And what that's designed to do, the purpose of the I got to think about it close or the Ben Franklin close is to get out the true objection that's holding this customer back from making that decision today. So now you can actually overcome the real objection. Because I got to think about it is just a stall, isn't it? It's a stall. That's all they're doing. So again, acknowledge, isolate, move to a close. I have to think about it. How about this one? Hey, you know what, Matt? We got to shop around. I really appreciate the numbers. The numbers look great, but I got to shop around a little bit. You know, I want to go to a couple of dealerships and make sure I'm getting the best price. You're going to hear that one, right? You're going to hear that one. I guarantee you're going to hear that this weekend. We got to shop around. Numbers look great here, Matt, but I want to make sure we got to go to a couple of dealers. I want to make sure we're getting the best price. What you do here is everything. Acknowledge. Hey, you know what, Bob? I completely understand that you want to make sure you're getting the best price. I get it. I mean, this is a big purchase. You want to make sure you're getting the very best price that you possibly can get. Am I right? Yeah, of course. Great. Other than the fact that you want to make sure you're getting the best price. I mean, if you knew for a fact that this was the best price, let's say you went to 2 other dealers and then came here and this was the best price, would you be driving this car home today? Well, yeah, Matt, I would. Great. Now move to a close. You might want to use the logic close here. And that logic close goes something like this. And we don't have time to go through them all, but I want to go through this with you. Hey, listen, I understand. Bob, listen, let me ask you a question. If I let you leave here right now and go shop 2 or 3 other dealerships, do you think you can go get a better price? Well, I don't know, Matt. I mean, but I'd like to find out. Great. Well, let me tell you something. You can. Customers will be like, what? Yeah, you can definitely go get a price. I guarantee you, I let you leave here. You can have my numbers. This is America. You can get up and leave right now. But if you take my price for this Honda Accord and go to the next Honda dealership 5 miles down the road, they're going to beat it. In fact, they will definitely beat it by a couple $100. Makes sense, right? I mean, if you came with their bona fide offer, we'd probably try to beat it by 100, 200 as well. The point is this, Bob. You want to go to 2 or 3 other dealerships, shop around, spend 3, 4, 5 hours at the dealership. Maybe they got the product that you want. Maybe they don't have the right color. Maybe you run into some people that you might not like. I don't know. But is it really worth it? Now, we go into details on the close, okay? So it summarizes like that, right? And then you want to say, is it really worth to save a couple $100? I tell you what, Bob, why don't we just try to save a couple $100 today and get this new car ready for you? Come on, let's sign the deal. Let's do the deal. And you hand the customer the pen. So you acknowledge, you isolate, and you move to close. That's on every one of these. Here's another one, right? How about this one? How about, hey, Matt, we need to get 3 more quotes, just like the other one, just like the Logic Close that I just used. How about this one? Hey, I want to get our own financing. Are you going to hear that one? We want to get our own financing? Of course. You're going to hear that one today. You're going to hear that one over the weekend. So you acknowledge. Rather than say this, because typically a salesperson will say this, well, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we have 27 banks that we use here. We can get you the best interest rate, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Acknowledge. Hey, you know what, Bob? I completely understand that you can get your own financing. I understand that you may want to get your own financing. In fact, they may be the best way for you to go. In fact, you might be able to save some money on interest. You might be able to, you know, probably have an established relationship with your credit union. I get it. I totally understand. It makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what we want to do, Matt. Great. Other than the fact that you want to get your own financing, is there anything else stopping you from buying this model today? Nope, that's it, man. Now you move to the finance close. And you move to that close, and it's so logical, and we all know how we can close that deal. Great, Bob. Do the courtesy contract close, the finance close, whichever close that you have right here in your pocket that you can pull out. That's an easy objection to overcome. But do you see how when you have the acknowledge, the isolate, and you move, it's very friendly. It's not a tension type of a close. Not at all. You build a rapport. You're listening to your customer, right? How about this one? You're going to get this one this time of the year a lot. Well, you know, we got to wait for our tax refund, Matt. I can't do this deal right now. I got to wait for the $2,000 down payment. Hey, you know what, Bob? You know what, Becky? I completely understand that you got to wait for your $2,000 down payment. I get it. You want to wait for your tax return to come in because you want to make sure that you have the money in your pocket before you put it down. Am I right? Yeah, that's it. Other than the fact you got to wait for that tax return, that $2,000 that you're going to be putting down. Is there anything else stopping you from buying this car today? No. Now you can move to the whole check form, the credit card close, whole check close, whichever close you pull out of your pocket. Okay? Or the tax break close. But again, you acknowledge it by listening and aligning. You isolate it, other than, besides that, and then you move to the appropriate close for that particular objection that you have. How about this one? How about, hey, you know, Matt, we just can't do this deal, man. Those payments are $50 too high, and I can't do the deal. Now, are you going to hear that every day of your life? Of course. Payments are $50 too high. Hey, you know what, Bob? I understand the payments are $50 too high. I get it. We all have a budget, don't we? We do. Great. Other than the fact that the payments being $50 too high, is there anything else stopping you from buying this particular car today? Nope. Now you move to the reduce to ridiculous close. See, a lot of people here give $50 a month away right off the bat. Hey, Matt, you know, the payments are $50. You're at $450. I'm at $400. Can't do the deal. I got to be at $400 a month. Well, if I can do $400 a month, can we do business today? Don't do that right then and there. You're giving up too much gross profit. You do the math. 50 times 60 months. Hey, it's a lot of money. $3,000. Try to hold some of that gross profit. Hey, you know what, Becky? I understand that. You know, we're $50 a month away. I completely understand it. We all have a budget, and we all want to make sure that we fit within that budget, don't we? Yes. Great. Other than the fact that we're $50 a month away, is there anything else stopping you from buying this particular model? Nope. That's it. Great. And now you move to the close. How about this one? I don't want to put any money down. These objections you're going to hear on a daily basis. This is stuff that's common, right? I don't want to put any money down. Well, how can you probably, everybody's got to put something down. Can you put tax, tag, and fees down? Conflicting. Don't worry about that. First, acknowledge, isolate, move to the close. Hey, you know, Bob, I understand you don't want to put any money down. Hey, a lot of people like to keep as much money in their pocket as possible, right? Yep. Other than the fact that you don't want to put any money down, is there anything else stopping you from buying this particular car today? No. Great. Now move to the close. I need to speak to my wife. I need to speak to my partner. Now, again, these are objections that you're going to hear on a daily basis. Now, time's running a little bit tight here, right? Or how about this one? I want to pay invoice, not a penny over. Hey, I can understand that you want to pay invoice, not a penny over. I get it. Listen, Understandable. You want to save as much money in your pocket and make sure you're getting the right deal. Yep. Yes. Great. Other than the fact that you don't want to pay a penny over invoice, would you be taking this car home today if you knew what the invoice was and you're buying it? Absolutely. Yes. Great. Now move to the close. And move to the invoice close. Move to the close. Move to the invoice close, which is a very logical, simple close where you can justify you selling that car for invoice, but you're actually holding some more gross profit than invoice, right? How about this one? You're not giving me enough for my trade. You'll hear this every day. Every customer that has a trade, you're going to hear this. Every one of them. You're not giving me enough for my trade. Bob, I completely understand that. I understand that you want to get as much money for your trade as possible. It's a great car. You've had that car for the last 5 years. I completely understand you want to make sure you get the value out of it. Yes? Absolutely. Great. Other than the fact that you're not getting enough for your trade, is that the only thing stopping you from buying today? That's it. Move to the trade close. Now, this is very simple, right? You talk about that trade. If you did a trade walk properly back in step 2 or step 8, depending on where your dealership puts it, if you did a proper trade walk, you walked around that trade with the customer, you can go to a justification close and show why we're not giving them the money they wanted for the trade and the money we're showing, and we can meet somewhere in the middle. It only makes sense if you use the justification close. How about this one? It's more than my budget. I want your bottom line price. You have one shot. Man, Bob, you got one shot, man. I want your bottom line price. So, look, we can spend all day on this, right? We have a whole day seminar here. But you understand, when you're closing deals for the objections, when you're doing the closing and the negotiating objections, okay, you want to acknowledge, isolate, and move to a close. There's a lot of reasons why, but I want to review this one more time. Once you acknowledge, you're going to turn around and try to get another yes. Hey, Bob, I completely understand that we're $50 a month away. I understand that. All right? We all have a budget. We want to make sure we stay within that budget. Am I right? Yes. Now you got a positive response out of your customer. So this gets you that positive response, right? That positive yes response. You got that positive yes. Now, you isolate. Okay, other than the fact that we're $50 a month away, putting that aside, besides that, is this the right vehicle that you'll be driving home and putting in your driveway tonight? Yes. Why do I do that? Because number one, I get another yes, but I'm also getting a recommitment. Commitment to this vehicle. They're recommitting. They're committing again. So other than the fact that your wife is not here, other than the fact that we're $50 a month away, other than the fact that you want to go shop in 3 other dealerships, other than the fact that you're not getting enough money for your trade, is this the particular car you'd like to buy? Yes. Boom. Now you got that commitment again, and I got my second yes. Now you're going to move to the close that's appropriate to the original objection. Does that make sense? So again, objections at the closing, you acknowledge it, get a yes, talks about being positive, isolate it, get a recommitment on the vehicle, move to the close for the particular objection you got. And when you can do all that, your closing ratio will go through the roof. In fact, if you become an expert, I say this a lot, if you become an expert at overcoming objections during the selling process, whether they're greeting objections, presentation objections, or closing negotiating objections, you will make 6 figures a year selling anything, anywhere, anytime. And that's why we're in this business, aren't we? We're here to make money. We're here to take care of our customers. We're also here to make money. See, so in sales, if you become an expert at selling, if you build trust and you build rapport with your customer, if you take care of your customer, if you do the right thing by your customer, by the way, this is doing the right thing. If you do the right thing by your customer, then you will become an expert in sales. You will make 6 figures a year, period. To wrap this all up, to end this sales meeting today, you can tell I'm kind of passionate about selling and overcoming objections. I went to go see a friend of mine yesterday, a good friend of mine. His name is Steve Harrington. I talk about Steve a lot in the training seminars, and Steve works over at a local dealership here. Steve Harrington sold 1,108 vehicles last year. You heard me right. 1,108 vehicles. One deal at a time. No fleet. I want it crystal clear. No fleet deals. One deal. We're going to have him on this Facebook Live coming soon. We're going to go do an interview with him over at the dealership on how he became as successful as he became. Steve and I started working together 23 years ago. 23 years ago. And when we were talking, Steve was talking about how building rapport with your customer is everything. He sold 1,100 cars last year. Steve made more money than 90% of people, 90 to 95% of the people in the United States just on his manufacturer card. Forget about the money he made at the dealership. I'm not even including that. He made more money because the manufacturer sends you a debit card in the mail, and every time you sell a new vehicle, they pay you directly, the manufacturer, besides what you make from the car dealer. Steve made more money on his manufacturer card. They call it the honey don't know card, by the way, because honey don't know about that money, okay? Sometimes. He made more money on that card than 95% of the people in the country made, besides what he's going to make from the dealership. But how does he do that? He did it by building rapport with his customer base to the point where it's just an enormous business. He is, without question, a business within a business. And he did everything right from the very beginning, from building rapport with his customers. Does he have to overcome objections? Of course. Now, does he overcome them like we do every day today? No, because now it's simple. He's got 3 assistants that work for him. He's got his own F&I manager. But he's built a business within a business based on what we're teaching here many, many years ago. And today his business runs like a well-oiled machine. You see, when you become an expert in sales, you can go anywhere and do anything, make 6 figures a year, and selling anything doesn't matter. Just like Steve. Steve sold 1,100 cars last year. He sells over 100 cars a month consistently now with him and his team from one dealership. It's crazy, isn't it? Think about those numbers. Now, what if you got to 25 or 30 consistently, all by repeat and referral? You know how you get there? By doing this. By learning how to overcome objections. By becoming an expert at customer relation tools. By building rapport with your customer. By building trust with your customer. By doing the right thing by your customer. By respecting your customer. And by always giving them the product that they want. There's no reason why we need to bait and switch, right? We got to get rid of that stereotypical name that we have by treating people right. And you see, when a customer comes on the lot, and they come on this lot, they have that stereotypical thought process about who you are as a car salesman. So it makes it that much easier for us to break down those walls. So this weekend, if you're not part of our dealer network group, if you're not part of that network group and you don't have access to our online university, because we have a phenomenal online university that you can have access to where you can go and watch the videos and take tests on all these objections. If you're not, rewatch this video or reach out to me because we want to become part of your dealer network. Just like the dealer group that's up in St. Louis. Hey, we go all over the country, by the way. We have our headquarters down here in South Florida. We're located in a beautiful college campus. We have a wonderful training center right here for all of our South Florida partners. We train every day here at the center. We have a training going on right now as I'm speaking. And we're going to have training every day, whether it's a 1-day seminar, a 2-day seminar, or a 4-day sales boot camp. We do it all for our car dealer clients, our car dealer partners. Whether you're here, St. Louis, California, Minnesota, New York, doesn't matter. Reach out to us. But if you want to really get good at this game called sales, rewatch these videos. Go back into history. Watch all of our videos, myself and Al's videos. You'll learn a lot. Reach out to me and let me give you some access to our university so you can get online. Look, I'm excited about what's coming up in this business. We have a lot of great stuff happening in this business. Today, I believe in my heart it's easier to sell cars than it was when I first started selling in 1992. Why? Because today the customers know what they want. All we got to do is give it to them. It's that simple, okay? I don't mean to put it that simple. I know it's not that simple, but it is that simple, all right? So look, glad to come here with you today. Glad you came into our studio today. Maximum Potential Institute. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Visit our website at mpiautosalestraining.com. That's MPI, autosalestraining.com. You can call me directly on my cell phone, 954-295-3797. If you know anybody in the car business, you want a photo, even outside the car business, forward this video, forward this live seminar that we're doing here today, this webinar that we're producing, forward it to whoever you have, your friends, your family in sales. Let them watch this because they're going to learn. This can be used in any business, not just the automotive industry. The AIM formula used whether you're selling shoes, cable TV, planes, doesn't matter. So, before I sign off, I want to say this. Have a great weekend. This is the 5th weekend in the month of March. We have 5 weekends this month. Let's kill it. Let's finish off strong this month. Learn Commit to education, and you will be one of the most successful people in your dealership. Have a great weekend, everybody. I look forward to seeing you, all of our partners at your dealership, when I come right this week, and we'll have a great time then. See you later.